present.
He's doing it. He's present. So today we are talking about
I did not pass out at 41 Flavors last night.
What? You passed out at 41 Flavors last night?
I did not. I'm present. I'm here. That's what happened to Ferris Bueller. Apparently. That was one of the rumors.
You passed out at 41 Flavors.
Yeah.
You know, you really love this. Is Ferris Bueller your favorite movie? Is that like what I'm getting here?
No. It's just the He's not my favorite movie. He's a guy that had an agenda, and he reached every goal he had that day.
What was his agenda?
To have a day off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he pretty much accomplished that. If that's his only goal, he got it.
Yeah. He did it as soon as the parents left the bedroom.
And I love the fact that I was listening to something. I think it was an After Hours episode where there was an offhanded comment where they said, "Why is everybody listening to a guy that's dressing like a lesbian and basically convincing everybody to make the worst possible decisions that they could because that's how it was going to benefit him in the long run?"
Yeah.
Like, Ferris Bueller is the most narcissistic, selfish piece of shit as a character, and yet we all love him. I loved him.
Well, yeah, generally, there's a couple of ways you can look at a person, right? You can look at their
left, right, sideways, upside
down, up, inside out, right side up.
And we are back.
Okay. All right. Well, let me do a little defense for.
All right, defend Ferris Bueller. That's what we're talking about right now.
All right, because everybody loves this argument that he was a dick.
Well, it's not that he was a dick. It's just that he was selfish, and it's clearly obvious that the only reason, Okay, so Cameron, for some reason, didn't have that many friends, right? Ferris was his only friend.
Yeah.
And he wanted Ferris's girlfriend. That was pretty clear.
Well, he had a side crush on her, but who wouldn't? I mean, she's hot.
Understandable.
This guy is pretty hot.
Understandable. It's,
Okay. No more of that.
Defend Ferris Bueller, and then we can move on.
Okay, so.
Oh, Jesus.
Clip City. Alright, so everybody likes to say that, he's such a narcissist, he's such an asshole, he's trying to do all these things. The kid is 17 years old, for God's sakes. He's a junior in high school. Yeah, he is going to be a little self-asserting, self-indulging.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that people forget that everybody else's life that he affects in that movie also has a miserable life. And he is the one that gets them out of all their shells. He's the one that sets them out of their zone, their comfort zone. Their comfort zone that makes them miserable. See, this is the thing that nobody ever wants to talk about, is that he is the trigger point that is needed for these people to actually live a life. See, that's the thing. You want to say that like he does it all for himself and all of that stuff. And sure, of course, the priority for any human being is to take care of themselves first, so then they could take care of everybody else around them. I mean, if Cameron didn't have Ferris Bueller as a friend, right? Cameron would probably have slit his wrists a long time ago.
I think his dad would have probably beat the shit out of him.
One or the other. Whichever.
Well, his dad's gonna strangle him to death as soon as he gets back and finds out that the car is totaled.
Maybe.
Because what's his dad gonna do? He's gonna be like, "It wasn't me, it was Ferris," and he's gonna be like, "How dare you say such bad things about Ferris?" as he's beating him with the fucking belt.
I think it was a point that had to come to a climax where it was like his dad has been railing his son for far too long, and his son finally has to stand up to his dad. And if he doesn't stand up to his dad, he's just going to be forever a pathetic piece of shit. So Cameron, right?
By the way,
he's got balls now. He's got balls.
He does. But yeah, I don't know. And then there's the whole his girlfriend thing.
Well,
Like, you know he's going to drop her as soon as he goes to college.
See,
if he goes to college.
well, first of all, Ferris is going to drop out of college if he goes to college.
If he goes at all, yes.
Second of
That's
all,
fine. He'll end up being like.
second of all,
Zuckerberg or
he
some
might
shit.
no, he might be married to Iona with a kid by the time he's like 21. But
I mean,
here's the
she
thing.
might have a kid, but he'll skip town.
But
I guarantee you.
we can't presume that this is the future for these folks. You know, to say that he's gonna leave her or anything. If anything, she's probably gonna leave him.
Also, was there an implication that there was some abuse in her family?
Well, she did kiss Ferris as Ferris was playing her father.
Well, that's a little bit different. That's
Okay.
a little bit different. But
Okay.
I just like there was almost like I don't know. I'd have to watch it again. But there seemed like there was some soft assertions that there was like possibly some physical abuse that was happening in her family. I'm not like sexual, but like maybe she was getting either physically or emotionally abused.
That's very possible.
Well, and then on top of that shit, right? His sister is completely accurate in the fact that she thinks her brother is this manipulative piece of shit.
Yeah.
And no one believes her.
Yeah.
And she's right, though. She's
Right.
fucking right, and she keeps getting in trouble. And then the even darker aspect, aside from Ferris,
Yeah.
the fucking principal of that school
Has a hard on for him.
is so weirdly obsessed with him.
He's
Weirdly
He's
obsessed.
a polarizing figure. But let me say this: everything that you're saying, and the number one argument since we've had this new day and age of like, you got to be so like, you know, you got to be so selfless,
What?
which is in another way being selfish. Listen, this is
yeah.
this,
If you're going a virtue,
a virtue.
Look how selfless
Yes.
I am.
Yeah, how selfless, you know. And yeah, everybody wants to point out like how, like looking back, it's like, well, you know what? He was a real narcissistic piece of blah 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 blah, right? And I can't argue with that. That's there's a very good argument for that, very solid. But, however, he is necessary to overcome all of their shitty lives. They want to blame it on him, but he actually doesn't. He actually didn't put them in their shitty lives.
No, he didn't. He's just taking advantage of it.
But he's also,
And
but they're also getting something out of it too. That's
Okay,
the
but here's the thing: it's like, okay, and this is something else that Crack pointed out is that like, because the question was, and they were watching the video was basically, what movie, like high school, would be the most fun to live in, right?
Oof.
And one of them said Ferris Bueller. But one of them pointed out, they're like, no, but you don't understand. You're thinking you're gonna be Ferris in this universe, but you're not. You're gonna be the kid that walks around the halls collecting change for Ferris so that they can buy him a prostitute to send to his doorstep. Or the kid who climbs the water tower to paint Save Ferris on it.
Yeah.
Or, you know, one of the kids that's holding up a sign or like doing all this other shit to he's basically a cult leader of this fucking town. Like, not only do the high school kids worship him, the adults worship him. All of his friends' parents think that he's this little fucking saint. Like, he's set up to be a Dahmer or a Jim Jones, essentially.
Sure. In one avenue, like one road, he can go down that road, or he can go down another road where he's like a Magic Johnson of Los Angeles, basically, where he can't do no wrong, and everybody loves him for the attributes that he points. He shows people what fun is. He exuberates positivity, and he does though. But
No, he does. I'll grant that he does bring people together, and that's
and in a positive light, he brings joy, and he brings celebration.
okay.
I mean, he got up in the middle of a parade that he wasn't even associated with and sang the Beatles, all right, and Donka Shane, okay, which is a callback to him and his sister, right? They obviously share that song in some kind of memory that they've had in the past. So there is some heart to Ferris, right? There is something like he's not one to drop everybody when the going gets tough, so to speak.
That's debatable, but I see where you're going.
All right, yeah, I'm sure it's debatable.
I see where you're going. I see where you're going.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I will grant you that it is open for discussion that Ferris Bueller might not be the most horrible piece of shit on the planet.
I'm saying there's other sides to him.
He's multidimensional.
He's multidimensional. He's 11 dimensional.
Fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Did you say leather dimensional?
11.
Oh.
Yeah.
What would leather dimensional be?
Not pleather.